Is anybody else pumped after that intro? Because I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
My man.
What's going on?
Finally have one of these.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Now the next step is to get you 2 of them.
Why do you have 2?
Why do I have 2? Somebody sent me one. Which is awesome because now they don't play in unison. Ready for this one? Ready for your ears?
Do it.
Yeah, that's just what you want to hear if you're wearing headphones out there.
Your hair looks amazing today, by the way.
I showered and I told you I went into public, which is very rare for me nowadays. So
let me see that side profile real fast. Hurry up.
No, because my nose will stick out too far.
There it is.
My nose is bigger than Lady Justice's back there. Look at that.
Looks good. Welcome, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. One of the best nights of the year and one of the biggest drinking nights of the year, I believe. Right?
Tonight is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight.
So what are you drinking?
A Monster. Tonight is let's see, what anniversary would have been? It would have been 2008. We'll do the particulars in a minute, everybody, but I gotta tell this story. So 2008, Jeannie and I and a bunch of friends went out to a bar when we still lived in New York. And I hate doing that type of stuff, especially when it's packed earmuff to earmuff. I've never liked that kind of environment.
Earmuff.
But I was like, all right, I'll go out, And we got Jimmy, Brian, to go out with us, which was just crazy, right?
Holy crap. To the bar?
Yeah. So we get there, right? And we're not there 5 minutes. I get a few, I think I got some Coronas from the bar, right? Mm-hmm. So I got one for me, I got one for Jeannie, blah, blah, blah. So Jimmy is standing right next to me, of course. And it's, again, we're packed in this place.
What bar is this, by the way?
Somewhere down on the riverfront in Newburgh, like one of those Blue Martini or whatever the hell it was, Pineapple, one of those bars.
Pineapple
right?
hoo-hoos. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the second I lift the bottle up to my mouth to take the first sip, Jimmy does something. I think he had long hair at the time, and he went to put his hair back or something, and his elbow went up into the bottle of beer, and it shattered my 2 front teeth. They just exploded. So half of my 2 front teeth are what do they call when they glue in,
crowns?
Not crowns. I don't have a thing that goes over top, but they had to repair my dude. I wanted to kill him. So there 5 minutes, bought 2 or 3 or 4 beers, whatever the hell I bought around for people, and there wasn't a tiny chip, Jeannie. Both of them. Well, all right. It's not like they fell out. All right. But
tiny chip, aka lost 2 front teeth.
Yeah. So anyway, and then the crappy thing was, obviously the dentist is closed Thanksgiving, so I had to wait 2 days with my 2 front teeth chipped, bonding. There you go. Anyway, that's my story about tonight. I hate tonight for that reason. I hate. What is it? What's the Wednesday before Christmas called?
The Wednesday before Christmas?
I mean, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Eve. I have no idea.
All right, there you go. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Brian, you got to take the wheel right now because I'm just lost. So go ahead. Drunk. Go ahead, shoot.
Jay's drunk. Everyone, remind him.
No.
And no, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're brining some turkeys whilst listening to Jay's sultry voice, drinking some beers or cocktails. I don't like when men use the word cocktail, by the way. That's a discussion for a different time.
No.
But I hope everyone's having a great night and looking forward to hopefully a pretty chill weekend. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Let's rock with some channel memberships and all that good stuff, Johnny.
We have
now Silent Bob.
Johnny Beane TV wouldn't be here without the following executive producers: good old Dave Ennis, Vinyl Freaky Freak 5150, Mike Neese, Laz, Majestic Peanut Butter and Jelly Cat, Wayno, Positive Flag, Andy Carson, Michael B, R Hebs, the Chad, which I believe he's here.
The Chad is awesome.
The Chad is the man. Linny Lou and Mary, James Gum, Johnny Moronic, Steve Franklin, Michael Smith, aka
the Captain. Everybody, it's the Captain.
You do it every month. I always laugh. Thomas
I do
Santiago.
it every show I'm on. I do it.
Right. Joe Christian, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, and
Steve Carmichael. Steve Carmichael. Steve Carmichael.
Become a channel member. Click the join button. It's there.
That might be right underneath where it says the thumbs up, and then they have the stupid dislike because people can't handle if they have somebody thumbs down my video. Oh no, I need a safe space. Suck it up.
Yeah. Please join. And if you join, you can chat with us. So please join.
1-900 spanked.
What's that?
Never mind. You don't know anything about that.
Okay. Yeah. We have an action-packed show for you guys tonight. I'm excited to go over a few topics. And around 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, we'll have a special guest stopping in. So should be a good show.
Well, we can say, I mean, it's not like it's Lars Ulrich stopping in. I mean, maybe the next level down. We got Kurt 5150. We have the hottest free agent coming on with us in about 47 minutes to discuss a little bit of the Black Album. It's the 30th anniversary of said Black Album from Metallica. So Kurt mentioned that he'd like to jump on and discuss some tracks from he said he's taken. Oh, okay. So he's not a free agent anymore. All right, that's fine. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So Johnny, if you could be so kind, I want to lead it off with the Grammy nominations that was just newly released. I saw it yesterday. Did you see it?
I saw the article posted. Excuse me, but I didn't click on it because I don't really care about that stuff anymore because it means nothing. These people that vote for this stuff have no idea what they're listening to and what they're talking about. So, yeah, you can talk about it. I didn't even see the list of bands on there because I'm sure not all of them are actual bands. Maybe in the hard rock and metal category, but any of the other stuff about never mind. I don't want to get started on that because I'm just sound like a whiny old man talking about.
You don't even know who's on the list, and you're bitching. Like,
I am bitching because I know.
Just stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
Johnny, put it up.
Which one do you want to look at first?
But let's go with the only category that matters: best metal performance. Here we go, and we have Billie Eilish in the left-hand corner presenting. Here we go. We have Deftones Genesis, the opening track off the album that came out last year, Ohms. Dream Theater to Alien. I don't want to speak much about Dream Theater. We did enough last month. We got some flack via the tubes. And yeah, that is the most boring album of 2021. That's all I'll say. Then we have Gojira, Amazonia. Gojira is amazing. Yep. And if you've been watching over the last year and know me, you know I love me some Gojira. Love those Frenchies. Then Pushing Tides by the one and the only Mastodon.
That would be my choice.
And then lastly, The Triumph of King Freak, A Crypt of Preservation and Superstition, Rob Zombie.
Have not heard it.
Nor will I ever play it. So
I'll probably not listen to it either.
So in the chat, if you guys have listened to any of these songs or all of them, give us some of your thoughts on who should be the best metal performance. So Jay, you've heard Genesis.
I'm surprised Gizmachi's not on that list.
I think they were runner-up as a nominee. So.
Yeah, runner-up. If there was like 1,000 spots on there, we might be like 1,001.
Which song do you think it would be for? If it was Gizmachi, what song would you be super proud of to see?
The only one that got a lot of airtime, which would be I forget the name of it. I don't even know the name of our songs. Anyway,
yeah.
Out of those songs, I would definitely choose Mastodon, hands down.
Okay.
That's a great song.
And then in the chat, I see a few people: Randy Price, Leo Safko, Gojira, Magic
I
Man.
wouldn't argue with that
Gojira.
one either. I wouldn't argue with that one. Those two bands right there, Gojira and Mastodon, are the two like heavy metal bands that I've said this before, that they sound like themselves. Like they sound like so unique compared to everything else that's out there. The second you hear both of those bands, you know instantly, oh, that's them. Oh, that's them.
Right.
Whereas a lot of other bands, it's like, oh yeah, that's them. You know, it takes you a little while because a lot of the times the production is the same on a lot of these records, and it's hard to really tell them apart. Where those two bands kind of have their own thing going on, which is awesome.
Right. So with those Grammy nominations, you think Mastodon should win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And they probably will.
And the Johnny, if you can bring up the best, I think it was best rock category. There you go. 4 of them don't matter at all. So let's just talk about the one that matters. That's Deftones Ohms. Ohms is an amazing album.
Wait a second.
No, stop talking right now.
No. Well, how do you get in 2 categories?
Well, Ohms is the song off Best Rock Performance, so it's the last song off the album. But on Best Metal Performance, it's Genesis, which is a much heavier song.
Whenever I hear Genesis, I think Sega Genesis. Anybody else out there?
I think of the band Genesis.
Or Sega Genesis.
Or Sega Genesis. Yeah.
Hey, False Flag, we'll try to get you in tonight, but we don't want to go too long, and we got a lot of crap to cover.
We'll try to squeeze you in, my man.
Yep.
But yeah, Best Rock Performance, Deftones, hands down. Ohms is an amazing album. Ohms is a great song, and Nothing Compares to You by Chris Cornell. I love Soundgarden. I love Chris Cornell. We've talked about it ad nauseum. How is a song from him, which he passed away, God bless his soul, like 3 or 4 years ago, how is it nominated now?
Is there an album or something that came out with like unreleased material that they put together? Is that might be why? Somebody else might know in the chat why.
In the chat, if you can let me know and educate me, because I have no idea why.
I have no idea who the Black Pumas are.
Why not?
AC/DC. I don't know if I listen to their new record. I might have taken a little bit of a. Maybe I put a little bit on. Foo Fighters. I said this in the, huh?
Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters. Never mind. I said this in the chat last night on the Tuesday show.
Mm-hmm.
That I understand why Foo Fighters is massive, but there's something about them that sounds so like not real. I don't want to say not real. What's the word? Like, there's just no feeling and anything in it. It almost sounds like it's all like fabricated, like a computer wrote these songs. You know, there's not a lot of I described it better in the chat last night. But there's every time I listen to if I hear a Foo Fighters song, I'm like, I get it. I understand why millions and millions of people love this band, but it just doesn't sound real to me. I don't know. I can't describe it any other way, but that's kind of how I feel, And I know Dave Grohl's he's a talented dude and all that. But again, I don't hear it. I don't feel it when I listen to those guys.
Yeah. No, Dave Grohl's a man, and Foo Fighters are pretty cool. And any band from our genre, which I'll go rock, hard rock, metal, that is playing, stadiums and just are huge.
Yeah, I get it.
You got to support it. It's the battle. The lines are drawn with like hip hop nowadays.
God.
But yeah, Deftones.
Jeannie loves Foo Fighters, but I just something about it.
Gotcha.
Whatever. Cameron Brown's in here. What's up, Cameron?
What's up, man? So there we go. Grammys, and I don't pay much attention to Grammys, but pretty cool. It's cool to see some bands getting recognized. So it's good.
I remember back in what was it, 88? I guess it would have been when Justice. Speaking of Justice, when Justice came out, what is it? Oh my God.
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull. His like greatest hits album won like best metal performance or best metal album of the year.
Yeah.
And it was like a joke, you know. That's just, I know times are different and stuff like that, but you'd think it's almost like this, right? A new Expendables movie. I'm just throwing one out there. Expendables movie comes out, or a Rocky movie, or something like an action movie, action-packed movie type of thing, right? And they have somebody review it that really isn't a fan of those types of movies. That's kind of like what that stuff is for me with the Grammys and even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, these people really, if you're going to do a heavy metal category in anything, you should have people that voting on it that are fans of that music.
Yeah.
Don't have somebody that doesn't have any idea. What? Oh,
1-year-old vaccinations. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. That stuff to me doesn't really matter, you know?
Sure.
That's why I love when, like, I think Iron Maiden came out not too long ago. What's his name? Bruce Dickinson, and was like, basically like, I could care less if we ever get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, it's BS, you know?
Right.
So.
I know. And a couple of years ago, there was a category where Slipknot, the negative one, was nominated, and it lost to Tenacious D, like a joke song. I was like, come on. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should have a group of people that vote. And if you haven't, is it the same people, the same X amount of people that vote for every category?
I don't know. I don't know all the particulars.
Because if that's the case, then that they don't know, they're not doing it right.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So I know we're gonna cram a bunch in.
Yeah, we got to work pretty quickly here.
We got to work here. So
do we have any more stuff to do before we, like, are we missing anything?
Yeah.
I know we didn't do roll call.
We're going to get to roll call in a few, but we have to talk about some stuff that came out and like a brief review, if I may.
Okay.
So I'll start it. Did you listen to the new Slipknot song? I
listened to most of it.
How do you listen? It's a 4.5 minute song.
I listened to about 3.5 minutes of it. No, I thought it was cool.
Wow. Okay.
I had to get it in before we started the show. So it was before I came upstairs. I put it on and I was like, I got the gist of it. You know, it's a cool song. It's Slipknot.
Right.
And that's what you want. You don't want a band this far into their career taking a complete left turn and, like, you know, writing different stuff.
Sure.
You know, but the cool thing with Slipknot as well is, you know, they have the talent and the musicianship and the singer to be able to obviously put out the brutal, heavy stuff. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Something's happening downstairs. But also they can write, you know, the slower kind of stuff where, you know, Corey can sing. But again, it still sounds like Slipknot.
Sure. And then we have a super chat from your boy Wayno. Sorry, I'm late, my dudes. Work is ridiculous busy tonight. Would you guys do this twice a month? I love that. Hard rock metal has a lot going on. So hard rock metal does have a lot going on. And I don't know, maybe eventually, you never know. We could go, we'll see. But right now, once a month, Metal Wednesday, you should tune in for the hotness.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Wayno. And welcome, bud.
Well, it's nice that he's asking for 2 times a month instead of like, hey, can you do like once every 2 months?
Or
you know,
never.
one time a month is pushing it, guys.
Right.
You know.
So getting back to Slipknot, everyone knows Slipknot's hands down my favorite band. And it was a couple weeks ago when they announced that they were going to release a new song. I knew it was coming. It was brewing. Corey Taylor was talking about it, how they were soon to release a song, and it was going to pummel you and slap you in the face, which I love it. Slipknot is that one band for me that, like, I'm pumped. It's like Christmas morning when they release something new. It could be anything. And I was not disappointed at all. It's heavy. It's heavy as hell. And
yeah, it's got some blast beats in there and all that. Yep.
The drumming is ferocious. I think
Oh, dude, Jay Weinberg's good, man. He's really good.
Amazing. The guitar work is amazing. Corey's voice is awesome. I think Corey sounds better now in his late 40s than he ever has, honestly. Like he's just refined his skills. Obviously, in the early albums when he was in early to mid 20s, his screaming was amazing. But he's just, I think to me, he's the best metal singer out there. He could scream, he could sing. I don't know who rivals him that can do both. The thing that I loved about Slipknot when they first came out too was when he was screaming, I understood everything he was saying. I didn't have to look. I'm like, what was he saying? Like, oh no, I understood it.
That's a good point,
right? That's something I appreciate. But new songs, the Chapeltown Rag is amazing. If you guys have not listened to it, definitely check it out. If you want to hear something that's gonna blow up the panties, check it out. So on the boner scale, I'm gonna give that a 9.5 out of 10 boners.
Really? 9.5?
Yeah. There's a couple things like as a fan, I wish they did this part. Like the outro part, Jay, that you didn't listen to is the coolest part of the song. It's like a breakdown. It's going to be sick in the pit. But like if they extend that a little longer and maybe did something else over it, would have been sick. So yeah. I love it. I'm so pumped.
I mean, 9.5 out of 10 is that's like a masterpiece.
It doesn't take a lot to get me super.
That's super. Like throbbing. 9.5. That's about to blow. Jesus.
Yeah. So absolutely. So great song. Next, I feel like it's like early 2000s. Korn popped out a new song. And also Limp Bizkit released a new album on Halloween, which we're really not going to get into. But I have to say with Limp Bizkit, the first two songs, I was real surprised with the guitar riffs that Wes Borland was pulling out. I was like, hell yeah.
You know what? You shouldn't be surprised because Wes Borland, he's good, man. And he comes up with some unique, kick-ass, groovy riffs, man. When I heard those first two songs, I was like, hell yeah, Wes. But I think even if you're not a fan of that type of music, which I used to love Limp Bizkit, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Like you got to respect Wes as a guitar player because he is a very unique player. I kind of put him in the same category just because of how unique he plays as like a Tom Morello type of thing. Like he's, obviously they're not the same guitar player, but they have these little quirky things that they do that kind of help them stand out from everybody else.
Right. Yeah. So that's all we'll talk about with the new Limp Bizkit album. The rest of it is meh.
Yeah. If the whole album was kind of like heavy like that, right, I'd listen to it.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to hear like the rap stuff anymore. You know what I mean?
I'm good on that.
Yeah. I'm good. I've been good on that for a while now.
And then that brings us to the new Korn song.
We're rolling, everybody. We're rolling tonight.
Well, we got a lot to cover. New Korn song, Start the Healing. Jay, what's your thoughts on the new Korn?
I didn't like it. I thought it was how did I describe it to you again? Trying to write like a pop metal song, trying to write a radio song. That's what it sounded like to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't dig it at all. Definitely wasn't a fan of it. I wouldn't listen to it again. I'll tell you that.
Really?
No. Wow. And if I did, it would be one of those things like, dude, did you hear this? Listen, playing somebody out just to show somebody how cookie cutter radio it was.
Sure. I really like it. It took me a couple listens to get into it. I didn't love the production immediately. Mm-hmm. And after I heard it first or second time I reached out to you, I'm like, who mixed this? Because it didn't sound like the last couple albums, which had a more of a rawer sound. This is more a little refined.
Rawer. Is that a word, or would it be more raw?
I just made it up just now.
Do we have any English majors or English teachers in the chat? Is roar a word?
Roar.
Hurt my neck.
Don't worry, Fret Level Midnight. We're almost done with this part. He hates new metal. So and Korn is the godfathers of new metal. But the getting back to the song, I really like it. I think the verse, Jonathan's verse part is amazing. I think he did a really good job with his vocals, how he put it together, the structure of it. I think it's pretty cool. The outro is pretty neat. I just didn't love the guitar
song.
doesn't. Was that
The song? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't love the guitar tone, and it sounded a little more manufactured than I would like. But hopefully, the rest of the album will sound a little better. But I like it. I like it.
I kind of like albums that are consistent in production. You know, unless obviously you have like a slow song with like, you know, some clean stuff or some, you know, breaking up distortion instead of just high gain. You know, but if an album, let's say 9 out of 10 songs are heavy, and then you got that one song that's pulled back a little bit, 9 out of 10 songs should have the same type of production. You know, the drums should pretty much sound the same. I mean, obviously different parts you're going to, you know, add some reverb to this or some delay on this part. But I hate flipping through songs because in my brain, I'll listen to an album, and if songs sound differently, if they have different production on them, I'll be like, this one sounds the best out of all of them. And then I'll be pissed that the rest of the album isn't mixed that way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's how my stupid brain works.
I understand.
Yeah.
So on the erection scale with the new Korn song, I'm gonna go with like a little chub, like about 6.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, your expectations are low.
Dude, I have a tough life here. So just, you know,
It's almost like you can't listen to music anymore. So you're like, I have to like this new stuff. I just have to. I have to force myself to like this.
no, there's a lot of new stuff that comes out I'm not happy with, and I know we talked about last month the new Dream Theater.
I'll take that over that new Korn song any day of the, you know.
You crazy son, you drunk.
No, I'm not.
And then the new 12-Foot Ninja we talked about. I haven't even gone back to it. I got to, but
I haven't listened to it at all.
And this brings us to the Crew de Gras, the Crew de Gras. There we go. Jesus, I can't talk. Yeah. I think arguably the best album of 2021, the new Mastodon album. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Yeah, what song did I have on yesterday when I was like, yeah.
Everyone in the chat as well, as Jay's pulling this up, tell us what you think. New Slipknot, new Korn, but more importantly, the new Mastodon album. It's amazing.
Yes, I got 356 into the new Slipknot song. I'm just pulling up my Spotify right now.
Okay.
Let's see. The new... I've been listening to a lot of stuff the last couple of days. Some Chaka Khan on there.
Chaka Khan.
You know, Jeannie showed me a video where she's like drunk or something, singing. Where the hell is the new recently played? Here we go. You can still talk about it. Don't wait for me.
Oh, okay. The new Mastodon called Hushed and Grim. Everyone, you have to listen to it. It's amazing. Mastodon, as we've talked about, is just one of those bands that's they're just so good. They're just technicians. They're amazing musicians. And I was telling Jay, this album, I was so excited. I think the best term for this album is I'm relieved at how good it is. Just because it's been a few years since Mastodon put out a new album, and this is a double album. It is so good. There's some parts that they do are a little different from them, but just amazing. Did you find
it's like an album and a half? It's an hour and 26 minutes long.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the intro song is amazing, but the song that's nominated for the Grammy, "Pushing the Tides," amazing. Yep. Pain with an Anchor, awesome. "Sickle in Peace" is a phenomenal song.
What's the one that I remember? Like the first minute and a half, I was like, "Oh, what's this country stuff?"
Yeah, The Beast, track 5.
And then all of a sudden, it like Oh, okay. Good thing I didn't skip it because like the whole, I guess, middle half of that song is
Rock.
awesome, and then it kind of goes back to it at the end. But the one song I want to mention on there, if there's any Pink Floyd fans in here, "Skeleton of Splendor."
Mm-hmm.
There's a keyboard part in that song that totally reminds me of Pink Floyd, and it had to be kind of what they were looking for when they wrote that part. Whoever did the keyboards for that, I have no idea if it was one of those guys, if they had somebody else do it. But as soon as that part came on, I was like, oh, hell yeah. And that's the thing. Mastodon is so good now that, I mean, obviously they're not as heavy as they were, right? We can all agree that, you know, their first couple albums, they're not even close to as heavy as that. They have their moments.
They do, right?
But they've, like you kind of said, they've grown so much as musicians and songwriters that you're not even mad that they're not heavy anymore or as heavy as they used to be, because the songs are so good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's nice to see a band this far into their career still kind of growing and evolving as songwriters and musicians.
Right. There's definitely some bangers on here.
No, there are. Yeah, there are.
Yeah, like Pushing the Ties. Savage Lands, the 12th track on the album.
Yeah. Is that the one that came on? Yeah. I was like, oh yeah. Let me see.
Yeah,
Hold on. Let me see.
That song is amazing. Peace and Tranquility has probably the coolest verse guitar riff. It is so cool. This is just such an amazing album. Braun is an amazing drummer. And the other thing that's amazing about Mastodon is they have 3 singers. So there could be a song that's a little heavier, a little more throaty, if I may, Jay's favorite term. And Troy Sanders, generally, he does that part. Braun is amazing. He's a really good singer. And then you have Brent, who's just the handsomest dude with a tattoo on his face I've ever seen. So this is a really, really good album. And it's next month when we'll go over the end of the year awards from Jay Hannon and Boner Jams himself. This is definitely a contender for album of the year. What's your thoughts?
I agree with that. I'll definitely agree with that. Speaking of Mastodon, our buddy Mike, the other guitarist in Gizmachi, he went and saw Mastodon and Opeth over the weekend in Albany, New York. And it's weird. Like, obviously I like Opeth as well. Even though, you know, I'm trying to think, because they've kind of gotten that like 70s prog mode the past like maybe almost a decade now, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. At least more.
I had no idea, because I would think, okay, you're going to see Mastodon and Opeth. In America, I would think that Mastodon would be the headliner. Right?
Agreed. Yep.
And it wasn't the case. Mastodon played before, and Mike was like, dude, right? I mean, he said in the chat, in the message thread with the voice text, he was like, man, Mastodon was so good that I couldn't imagine following those guys, like playing after them.
Yeah.
You know, everything was awesome. So.
Yeah, I don't understand. I saw Mastodon once, I think about 7-8 years ago. It was with Ghost. This is before Ghost was big. They opened up. Then it was Opeth, then Mastodon. And I think Mastodon now is bigger than they were then. And I don't think Opeth has really done much out here. Like, I've never just walked up, someone's like, yo, man, new Opeth is the shit. Not one time. You know? So I'm really shocked that it was a co-headlining tour and Opeth closed it. So
I mean, is it something that they're alternating, or is it the whole tour?
Not sure.
Because Mike had also mentioned that the live sound that Opeth had was kind of their newer, 70s prog sound. And when they're playing the old music, a lot of the old stuff is like some death metal crap in there, double bass and
like growl.
Yeah. And like, obviously the mix doesn't translate when you're playing that style of music.
Right.
So he said it was weird that they chose to have that, but what are you going to do?
Right. So on the erection scale, what do you give the new Mastodon?
It's tough, man, because it's one of those albums that I want to keep listening to it because it is really good, and it's And they are one of those bands where there's different things going on. It's not just, straight up guitars, bass, drums, but there's stuff going on that you don't really notice the first time you listen to it. And I love music like that. If you can put out a heavy metal or a hard rock album and there's stuff going on that you don't notice until like the third or fourth, fifth time you hear it, you're like, whoa, I never noticed that guitar there, that extra guitar, or that slight keyboard part that's in there that that's not sticking out, but you kind of hear it coming out of one channel, or just weird things, right? Of vocal harmony that you never noticed.
Yep.
Things like that, they get my boner scale pretty high. So right now, I mean, I don't know, dude. I want to keep listening to it. I hate rating things.
Okay.
It's either something that I love, like, or don't like.
So let's do it this way: on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this?
Oh God, man, I don't know, because
I'm just joking.
I'll say this: 8 and up, 8 inches and up is a classic in my book. If you have an 8, that's an album that you're going to be revisiting for a long time.
Sure.
That's how I look at it,
So you put it in that stratosphere.
Yeah, I think it might be there. It might be there. So
yeah. It's obviously it takes time for an album to be a classic, or to be anything like that, because it has to age, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really relieved in how good it is. And the last album, The Emperor's Sand, I really enjoyed as well. So I don't know. I'm definitely not disappointed. So I'm happy. So
hey, Rory,
you want to go through a roll call?
Hi, Rory. I'll say hi to your kid.
I didn't even see. I wasn't looking. What's up, Rocktober?
All right, everybody. Let's see. Everybody say Happy Thanksgiving in the chat. How about that? That way I can see everybody.
And also tell us what you're so excited for tomorrow. Stuffing, mashed potatoes, some turkey.
Or are you looking forward to getting stuffed? And do you eat? All right, how about this? Do you eat 1 meal or 2 meals or 3?
Before you get to that, check out False Flag's super chat.
Oh, guys, I have really digested the recent Gizmochi. This album is shit. I can't believe you actually put that piece of crap out. Thanks, False Flag. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great theme, so slick. Congratulations. It's nice to know that somebody's still listening to it after all these months. The one thing on Thanksgiving I never understood is why so early? Why all of a sudden people want to eat at 2 or 1 or whatever the hell it is? It's like, I don't know. Anyway, we got All Dave All Night, Amanda Coombs, Boner Jams, David Ennis, Deja Voodoo, Edwin Crane, False Flag, Fret Level Midnight, Johnny Beane, Leo Safko, Magic Man. Is that Antonio Tarver? Moira, there you go. Music Therapy Laz, Nightbot, Randy Price, Symmetry? Is that Symmetry, right? Symmetry?
Yeah, Symmetry.
And Vistalite 1972, and everyone else, I guess, is lurking. We got Ted Sanchez just popped in. My beautiful wife downstairs just popped in. I hear both our kids still up. We put them to bed, and now they're up.
Both?
Vistalite. Did I miss anybody else? Kelly's here. And everybody else, hope you're having a wonderful day before Thanksgiving.
And Amanda Coombs, I know tomorrow is not Thanksgiving for you up in Canada, but happy Thanksgiving to you too.
You know what? That's another thing. People get pissed if you wish them a holiday that they don't celebrate. Not everybody. Some people do. I don't get it. If somebody wished me, what? Give me something.
Hanukkah.
I'd like Happy Hanukkah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird to me. Like if I wish somebody a Merry Christmas, I don't celebrate Christmas. Not everyone. Okay, that's fine. I do. So guess what? I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. It's having a business, we have to toe the line sometimes. But we do our deposit and bring it to the bank, and generally the bank doesn't have Christmas music on or have music at all during the Christmas season because people have complained before going in listening to Christmas music. So when you come to my office around Christmas, I'm pumping Christmas music. If someone has a problem with it, I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's if someone said something to me like, happy Festivus, I'm like, awesome, thank you. Like it's positive greetings and tidings. So I don't know, who cares? As long as it's positive, I'm all for it. Wish me everything. I'm all set.
Yeah, I don't care, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just people are so uptight about everything now, and everybody's offended by something. Like, take it easy,
Yeah.
God, loosen up.
Sure. All right.
Oh yeah, the Festivus thing. When do we air our grievances? I got a lot of problems with you people. That's such a great Seinfeld episode, man. My God, music therapy less. Thank you. He's wearing a Gizmochi shirt right now, but he still doesn't have a Boner Jam shirt.
Yeah, I sent him an
IOU.
No, I sent him a Gizmochi shirt instead of a Boner Jam shirt due to there's an issue with a Boner Jam shirt.
Due to production, a production halt.
No, I just can't find them.
Oh,
they were boxed, and I don't know. I'll find them. When I do find them, I will send them out. Because there's a few people who have been, badgering me.
Dude, we got to go. We got to talk about
shit. We could shoot
album closers.
All right. Yeah. Next topic. You guys ready?
Right. You introduce it. We'll get Kurt on at like 10 after. I got to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay. The next topic we're going over, something that I find pretty cool. Like we talk about best album intros, right? Like best opening songs. What about best closing songs off albums, right? So in the chat, I'm gonna rattle off a few closers, some of my favorites of all time, and give me some of yours. So it could be it could be live, it could be off an album, but we're gonna do basically albums. So the best closer, a couple of them. I'll start with Dyer's Eve off of Justice. Hell yeah, it's such a good song. I love that song so much. Dyer's Eve is a fantastic closer. One of the coolest, the best closing songs off an album is Hollow off of Vulgar Display Power. Jay and I have talked about this. I think we had a discussion about it like 15 years ago.
Well, there's 2 off of my list already, you son of a...
Really?
Yeah.
So Dyer's Eve, you heard that?
Yep.
Midstream. And then...
That was on mine.
So also, I know and shortly we're going to talk about the Black Album. And actually prepping for tonight, I listened to the whole Black Album today while working, just to like digest it again. Because I haven't listened to the Black Album from front to back in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Justice is so much better.
Make sure you wipe front to back too, right?
What's that?
You got to make sure you wipe front to back too.
I go back to front, mix it up.
Back sometimes. To the front.
I saw a meme about that before. How does James Hetfield wipe?
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, Hollow off Vulgar. The outro of that song is the shit. It's so good. It comes in nice and light, melodic, and then it just gets super heavy. And the outro riff by Dimebag's filthy.
Dude, when that
Yep.
It's one of the coolest riffs.
It is. It's so cool. Like just the production of that and just listening to it, you have to pump it and you can hear people in the background and you hear like the harmonics, dun, 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 and then it kicks in.
Oh yeah, the clean whatever chimey-ish guitar. Ding 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 ding. Man, yeah, they were firing also. That's my favorite Pantera album, and I think it's like the second best metal album ever recorded.
ever.
It's definitely one of the most important metal albums recorded.
Absolutely.
Man, that album
Especially because the
kicks
timing
ass.
of that album, because of how big a kick of balls Black Album was to the metal community. No, I'm joking. So Pantera was like, no, we're keeping it heavy. What other songs do you have? Since I took two of yours.
All right. I'm saving one for last, and it's one that not a lot of people probably heard, but right now I'm gonna go one of the greatest outro songs and one of the greatest songs, I think, is Third Eye from Tool. It's the last song on Enema.
Hmm.
And it's one of those songs where you when it's on, it's not background music. Like you sit there and you pay attention to it, and it kind of Discharge, False Flag. Yes, that's on my list too. Everyone has my songs in here. Yeah, Third Eye is one of those songs where it's like, man, it's so good. You don't want it to end, you know. And that's that I think is one of the main things about an album closer for me, when it has to go different places. It can't just be one of those songs that has the straight, intro, A B C, that type of thing.
Yep.
Bridge, outro, whatever.
Sure. It's something a little different, right?
It's got to go somewhere else,
Sure.
even if it's just for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously Third Eye goes everywhere you can possibly imagine. So,
Sure. What else you got? Since they're all getting discussed.
all right, let me delete that one. Well, I'll just Damage Incorporated off of Master of Puppets. It's Metallica in a nutshell when they were on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. Such a great song.
Yep.
And one of the that's it. Just it's a great song. It's the pinnacle of Metallica as far as their writing and obviously Justice as well, but Damage Incorporated is probably their best closer, I think.
You think it's better than Dyer's Eve?
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Keep
going.
Maybe just because I prefer the lyrical content of Damage Incorporated, maybe a little bit. I feel like Dyer's Eve is it's one of those songs where you know exactly what he's talking about. And obviously it's a very, Randy Price prefers Dyer's Eve over Damage Incorporated. I'm not going to argue that. Maybe it's one of those things when I hear Dyer's Eve, I'll be like, yeah, it's better. And then I'll hear Damage Incorporated. Yeah, I like this one better.
That song is just amazing. There's nothing wrong at all with Justice. It's perfect. It really is. So good.
Well, except for the lack of Jason Newsted.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But it's all good. All right. Let's talk about me now. Pantera, Sandblasted Skin off of The Great Southern Trendkill. I love how this song, what's the one before it? America, Underground of America. How it ends and then it goes into that, and it's like, the trend is dead, and he kept screaming it, and then it kicks in. I have goosebumps right now. I'll never forget the first time I hearing that. Man, it opened my ears and finished my pants.
And the end of that song is so cool. They fade back into it.
That's like 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes of silence, and all of a sudden you hear the drum, and then bam, yeah. That song is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Postmortem into Raining Blood as well.
Damn it, Brian.
That's just amazing. Like, I can't listen to just Raining Blood. You have to do Postmortem into Raining Blood. I just think it's like on Liquid Metal, when they play it, they don't play just Raining Blood, they do both. So hell yeah, Randy Price, Vigil. Off The Palace is Burnt. Absolutely. Yep. So, and then I'll give one more, and then we'll get back to you. Actually, I'm gonna give 3 more because we gotta hurry up.
But
Time off of Welcome by Taproot. That song is awesome.
oh, that's on my list too. No, it's not. I don't know the song. I'd have to listen to it. I don't mean to.
No,
But
please don't listen to it because you're gonna tell me how bad it is. So just let me enjoy it. Yeah, that's an amazing song. I love Taproot. That's one of my like bands that I can care less if anyone likes it or not. I love them. I really do. That's like that's my band. You know,
that's my band. I
That's
love
my
that
band.
band. That's my band.
So that Alpha off of Alpha by Alpha. No, I'm joking. Seven Dust. Their sixth album. That song is super heavy. It's brutal. It's a great song. I don't think you've listened to it before, Jay.
I don't think so.
It's pretty cool. Real good. And then I'll go last is Jaguar God by Mastodon off of The Emperor's Sand. That's a song that you kind of alluded to earlier where it's all over the place. It's melodic, it's heavy, really cool solo, just a lot of stuff going on. Real cool.
Mm-hmm. That's your list right there?
And I had one more, but I don't feel like talking about it because
Okay.
it might make
So
fun of me,
I'm going to
but-
go through real fast, I guess. Somebody mentioned the last song off of Persistence of Time.
Mhm.
It's this banger right here, Discharge. Last track off of Persistence of Time. It's got one of the coolest riffs that Metallica ever wrote. I'd play it for you, but I'll get it flagged, you know. Oh, speaking of Megadeth and Iron Maiden, check that out, right? So anyway, that's one.
Oh
Somebody else mentioned Ashes in Your Mouth from Megadeth.
yeah. Yep.
That's one of the baddest ass tunes. I'm gonna do a little bit of self-promotion. We got Verses of Violence from Byzantine off of their 2017 release, The Cicada Tree. And this song is 9 minutes and 7 seconds long. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
My man knows how to pour a beer.
Pumpkin Nitro. It's like Guinness style. Look at this.
Oh
Look at
man.
this. Look at it. Focus on here.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to get some of that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Give me some of that.
What about Omega Collide off of a band named Gizmachi? That's a dope ass closer.
Yes, I dig that.
And if you put your own band on it, I would probably have flown to South Carolina and smacked you. I can't do that.
Kurt is
But I can do
here. Kurt, give us like 5 minutes. So Verses of Violence, check that one out. And here's a band that not many people have heard of. The band is called Burst, B-U-R-S-T. The album is called Lazarus Bird. I've mentioned this album before. And the song is called City Cloaked. And again, you can see it's a 9 minute and 22 minute or 9 minute and 22 second song. This album is awesome. It is a great album. So check that song out, City Cloaked by Burst. And then you can't leave this off. You got Hallowed Be Thy Name from Iron Maiden off A Number of the Beast.
Mhm.
That song is just great. Let's see. You ever hear of a band called Raunchy?
No.
Well, they're not from America. Where the hell are they from? They're from what country wears wooden shoes?
Netherlands?
Yes, they're from the Netherlands. The Comfort in Leaving is the name of the song. It's the last song off of Wasteland Discotheque is the name of the album. It's really cool.
Sounds awesome.
Very unique band. I like them.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to save this one for last. But my honorable mention is Anybody Listening from Queensryche off of Empire, which I think is one of the greatest songs ever written. So you go with your last one, and then I'll talk about my last one. And then what country wears wooden shoes? That's the only way I could say I could figure it out. What's the name of the Burst record? It's called Lazarus Bird is the name of the record. Very cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
One song I love, and I don't think you've ever listened to it. It's actually a Korn song. It's called "Please Come for Me" off the Serenity of Suffering.
Nope.
It's cool. It's a really cool song. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And I think I named all of my best closers. I had a ton of honorable mentions, but we would be here for way too long, so I just deleted them. So
Yeah, dude, I know. I was like, I was going crazy, and then at dinner tonight, I was telling Jeannie like what they were, and I was like, I can't sit there and talk about 15. And then I went ahead and counted all the screenshots that I took. And I was like, I got 15. I was like, I thought I had like 6. So I had to cut some fat off. But so here's the last one. And this band, it is a damn crime that these guys weren't bigger than they were. The band is Textures. I've probably mentioned them on the show. They're kind of that same type of. I'd kind of put them in the same category as Gizmochi, where they kind of play that, odd
time signatures,
stuff, odd time signature stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they also have like a lot of melody going on. And this one is off of their last album, because they broke up after this album came out, because again, they just never broke. Like, I wish I had money. I'd be able to dump into this band and like, hey, you guys are going to keep going because you're great.
Mm-hmm.
So, what the hell is this album even called? Hold on a second. Phenotype is the name of the album. And the last song on it is called Timeless. And I got to tell you, this song, when I listen to it, and Brian, I think you checked it out tonight, but when I listen to this song, I have this weird sense of like hopelessness when I listen to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, no, but it's not like, it almost is a song that like makes you know that you're alive.
It makes you want to commit suicide.
No, it doesn't go that far. No, but there's something about it that makes you feel this weird, at least me, and I know I'm getting a little weird now, but it happens. Like, I hear that song, and it's the type of song that you sit there and you listen to it. Like, I remember driving in the car with Jeannie one day, and it was on, the album was on, that song came on, and we both just shut up, and we just sat there and we listened to the song. Nobody said a word. And it's that type of song where if the music is background music, when that stuff comes on and it starts going, you just listen to it, and you kind of lose yourself in the music and the vocals and stuff. And
sure,
it's I don't know, strange sensations in my brain when I listen to that song.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When I listened to it, actually, it had to me, like vocally, it had a Dream Theater type of feel. That's just me. And I've listened
to Theater.
Yeah. Like it was, it's clean vocals. It was, like it reminded me.
Well, the whole thing isn't clean vocals.
No. Just like parts of it. Like it gave me that vibe. Or like, you love Queensryche. So it has, I don't know, it had like a later 80s type of feel to it, but then obviously it had some weird stuff to it. And I've listened to that album before, but yeah, no, Gizmochi is definitely a heavier version of Textures.
I don't know. I think that would be like a great tour if Textures and Gizmochi toured. And there's a few guys from Textures after they broke up that started a new band that's kind of along the same lines.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, what is the name of the band?
As you're thinking about that, Wayno,
we'll get Kurt in here in a second.
We talked about Seven Dust, Alpha, off of Alpha. I know you love Seven Dust, so really, really cool song. Last song of the album.
Crap. What is the name of that song or that band? Somebody help me out.
Oh, from the guys from Textures that created the new band?
Yes.
Where's Mike Balls? Does he know?
No. Kurt is here. Okay. We can get Kurt in here. Crap. I want to tell everybody to check out because they have a new song out, their new band, and I wanted everybody to check it out.
Okay.
But oh well, I'll find it. He's in here, but not on camera. Kurt, you there? Let's rock.
Come on in. Come on in.
I'm gonna try to find it real fast.
Okay. Kurt.
We got him.
Damn.
Didn't even look like you. What happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
Is it the hat?
It's the goatee.
Oh, and the goatee. That's right.
It's the beard. I mean, I can't even grow a
That's
beard.
not a beard. That's a goatee.
That's a goatee. Looks polished and well defined.
Yeah, no shave November. I'm drinking beer tonight too. I never drink beer.
What are you drinking?
Special occasion,
Lieu
I
of
guess, huh?
Boner jams. I'm drinking a amber ale, and then I have a pale anal next.
Nice. You double fisting?
Yeah.
Crown Compass. Crown Compass is the band that I think two of the guys from Textures formed, and they have a new song out. So definitely check out Crown Compass and tell them Gizmachi sent you. How about that? We'll do a tour.
Does the Textures know you guys or know about you? Like ever?
They're from I think they're from the Netherlands as well. They probably have no idea. Who knows? Who knows?
Gotcha. Cool.
Killian headbutted me in the eye today. He came over to give me a hug, and he just boom. I look like I got punched. Anyway, Kurt, what's going on, man?
You're looking good with your hair. It looks like you're going into corporate America.
Never.
Listen,
It's true.
I will never go in. I tried that once before, and I was in hell. I'd rather live in a cardboard box in the corner than go back into corporate America.
Yeah, I'm just I had today off. Gonna just roll into a 4-day weekend. Be nice. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Good. Well, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Are you gonna stay on while we talk Metallica? I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see you, Brian. I'll leave too. We'll just leave Kurt on to talk about it. There you go. Wait.
All right, guys. We're gonna talk about the weather, stocks, bonds.
Stocks, huh? Crypto, a little bit of crypto talk.
Let's talk about diversifying your portfolios.
Right. No, I'm excited to hang out with you, Boner Jams. We've just chatted in the chat room, so it's cool to be on here. And thanks for having me, guys, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on, and look forward to. You wanted to chat about the Black Album, right?
Yeah. It seems like they didn't make a big deal out of the 30-year anniversary this year. I don't know, Jay. Did you? It just seemed like they kind of skimmed over it, you know?
No, I wouldn't say skimmed over it. I mean, I think maybe the reason why people weren't as excited is because it's already a sonic masterpiece. I think the excitement over the Justice thing was, are they going to do a remix? Are they going to actually add some bass to it?
Right.
I think that's probably why maybe there was a little more excitement about it. But and plus, everybody already has the Black Album, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Literally, the entire
50
planet.
million people or whatever. What I can't remember what the
17 million or something. Or it's more than that.
Yeah, it's like almost 50 million.
Yeah, I think it's like 17 in America, maybe, or something. And then that's insane.
Well, real quick, for those in the chat who are not aware of a Kurt 5150, clearly he's a big Van Halen fan, but also is also a metalhead. So he wanted to talk about the Black Album and how it was re-released. It was early last month, right, Jay? Like it was early October?
September.
Was it September?
Yeah. Like a month after, because August 12th is, Jesus Christ, I know the exact. August 12th is when it came out originally, 1991.
Mm-hmm.
I think it came out like September 12th or something, somewhere around there, like a month later. Right. But, and I know Mike Balls was kind of complaining that it wasn't as, they remastered it obviously, and it wasn't as loud as he had hoped. But like when you listen to that album they had hard enough time fitting that through out of 2 speakers. And
Right.
Bob Rock talked about that. Dude, when those toms come thundering in Enter Sandman, you know, if they would have made it louder, they would have had to compress it more, and it would have ended up taking, like, sucking a little bit of the life out of that mix. And I honestly think that's the reason why they did. It's not like, you know, you put it on and it's not like, you know, super loud, because they weren't able to make it that loud because it's so dynamic and it breathes so much. But it's also just, it's such a great sounding album, man. You know, I goddamn love how that album sounds.
Yeah. Did you know they went into the studio 30 days to the year Eddie passed?
What?
October 6th is when they started recording the album.
Wow.
Yeah. I just noticed that today when I was doing a little research.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy. So there you go, Boner Jams. There's my tie back. I was looking for the window and I jumped.
That's everything ties in with Van Halen somehow. Kurt's gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Bacon. Give me a movie.
6 degrees of Van Halen.
But we're all pretty much the same age, right?
Well, you and I are.
Yeah.
Brian's a little younger.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
My hair doesn't look it, but yeah, physically I'm a little younger than you guys.
I'm right there with you, buddy. But like, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. 7th grade, 8th grade when this came out, right?
Yeah, I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember, man, I was so excited because at first I didn't get it. I didn't have any money for it. And at this time, you know, growing up, I got presents on my birthday and Christmas. And if I got a good, like, report card, which never happened, so I never got anything in between. So I had to dub it, right? I had to have my brother Anthony, who was the original drummer from Gizmachi. His brother was a huge headbanger, and he had to put it on. You know, he had the CD. He put it on tape for me. And the crappy thing about that, 3/4 of Struggle Within was cut off.
Ugh.
So I remember finally getting it on CD and like, oh my God, Struggle Within is like, it's an amazing song.
Yeah.
But it sucked because for a while, I'd say for months, I had no idea how the rest of that song went. I think it was like the first verse, in the middle of the first verse or something, it gets cut. I was like,
you didn't use a 90-minute tape or whatever those were back then?
Yeah, I guess. I forget. Or 60-minute.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I remember a good friend of mine that I grew up with. He was running for class president. I can't remember if he was 7th or 8th grade, which is complete bullshit. Like, you know, what do you do for class president in junior high?
Yeah.
But he did a video montage of like all the kids around the school, and I was his campaign manager, and he used Enter Sandman for the song, and like he totally won by a landslide because of the music. So that always whenever I hear that song, it always reminds me of that stupid video he did. But I wasn't really into metal back then. You know, it was like Van Halen, Boston, you know, some of that butt rock. But
butt rock. I've never heard that before.
But I did buy this probably September, October, around that time. Probably mowing lawns. I had money. But it blew my mind. It was like new metal for me, you know.
I think it's definitely, and this is the reason why it sold. Somebody mentioned Wayno said 30 million copies worldwide. There's a reason why. It's because it's still heavy metal. It's not thrash metal like they were, but the production was so perfect. The songs were so great, and it just easily what are you laughing at, Brian? It just easily transcended that boundary that heavy metal could never cross. It definitely went from, like, you know, underground. Obviously Metallica, after One came out, you know, they kind of stepped over that boundary a little bit, but they were still heavy metal. You know,
they weren't on mainstream radio. They didn't have any play on the radio until this.
And then
Right.
Enter Sandman came out and just kicked the doors wide open.
Yep.
Boom, man. I remember because
Oh.
around that time, Metallica and Van Halen were the two bands that I like stayed up to
Mhm.
record the videos and any kind of interviews and all that stuff. Even Megadeth. Well, I guess that would have been the next year with Countdown. But I still have the tape somewhere of the world premiere of Enter Sandman.
Really?
Oh
July
yeah, it's in
30th.
the attic somewhere in a box.
July 30th is when it came out. MTV.
I was 10, so I really wasn't into Metallica at that time. I wasn't really into much, but like I remember I started liking metal,
Mhm.
like drips and drabs, if I may, when I was younger. 7,
Yeah,
8,
dude,
9,
you can't jump feet first right into heavy metal. It's
No.
hard to. You have to kind of sample a little appetizer, and then it's
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Right.
whoa.
Some
Like when
kids did, and they were a little off. Those ones that were listening to it early on.
I was saying a couple days ago to Jay in the Gizmachi chat when I remember seeing the video for the first time.
Yeah.
And when they had the synchronized headbanging, like during the dun, and they're all doing it at the same time, I'll never forget that. And I had goosebumps. I'm like, this is awesome. But also I was 8 years old. So I just remember I loved it. And I don't know, it took some time to get into metal, but the big reason I got into metal, Fret Level Midnight, is probably not why I hear it, but like Korn, like I was 13 and
man.
I was, Rage Against the Machine, Korn, that really got me into metal. And it was like my gateway drug, if I may. So then over the years, I listened to the Black Album more and more. And I don't know, and like listening to metal now, and that's predominantly what I listen to. I won't say the Black Album is a metal album. It is a hard rock album. To me, it is. It's just also the tempos throughout the album are pretty similar throughout. Like there's not really fast parts to it,
Yeah.
As Jay, you would say like drummers who like to play Black Album on the drum, it's fun to play, and I know why, because it's all similar tempos and the fills aren't very complicated. It's just a fun thing to do, right?
But that's another reason why Metallica is in a class of their own, because they can, nobody that knows anything about drumming and music will say that Lars is technically a great drummer, but he writes drum parts that are fun as hell to play, and they're very memorable. Like you can put on any Metallica album, well, up until I guess after the first Load album. I even know that one inside and out. But
Yeah.
It's just fun to even play on the steering wheel in your car. Then there's, I guess, like you said, there's nothing special about them technical wise,
No.
but there's just something about them that just like them, and you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah. But to me, 4 or 5 songs on this album go back to some of their older stuff too. For me, especially starting out listening to this and then going back. I mean, there's still at least 4 songs on this album that remind me of some of the stuff they did in the early days.
Well, there are some riffs on there, like think of Struggle Within, right?
Yep.
He could have easily when that part comes in, did like a shortest straw type of beat to it, right? A more
right
like
Up
that,
tempo,
but
right. Yep.
there's nothing really like that on the Black Album. It's all kick snare,
Yeah.
and it works, for what it is. But now I'm getting pumped.
I know. I imagine this guy going in to record some of those earlier albums, and James showed up with like one guitar, and Kurt showed up with one guitar, and they like busted it all out in like 2 weeks, and then they do this thing, and they're using all kinds of stuff. I watched a little bit of A Day in the Life today, and Lars is talking about there's that table
Yep.
with all the wood trinkets and anything that makes noise.
There's shakers. There's shit that just.
And I'm selling out playing cowbell on this song, but like
Yep.
they totally went into a totally different realm. And they really didn't go back to that either. It's like they,
Well,
hit it and then they kind of changed their direction again.
Well, part of it, it's funny because my buddy Jimmy and I kind of were talking about Metallica, not like probably a week or two ago, about how this album was so massive that maybe part of it was they knew that they weren't gonna be able to do that again. Even if the music was still great, there's no way that they would have hit that level of album sales and worldwide. It almost been like, yeah, why even bother trying to do that? And I remember watching an interview not too long ago. It was somewhere either late 92 or 93. They were on tour somewhere in Europe, and they were on this TV show, almost like a Headbangers Ball, I guess, over there. And this the chick interviewer, the last question, they're having people call in asking questions. And before they left, she's like, I have a question for you guys. What are you guys listening to now? And it was Jason and it was James. That's it. And I forget what Jason said that he was listening to.
Soundgarden.
But when it got to James, and again, this is 92-ish. I'm thinking it was somewhere in late 92. And he goes, a lot of country. And he was serious, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know that he liked that stuff anyway, but he said he was listening to a lot of it. And it kind of explains the direction, because if anybody has written music here, kind of what you're listening to at that time, it's only natural how it kind of seeps into what you're writing. Like right now, if I wrote a song, it would probably sound like Dokken, So that might be part of the reason why they, Load and Reload kind of have it's like heavy metal country.
I have in my notes heavy metal, Western metal fusion.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
And he's wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, outside of the
vest. He's got the leather vest on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's drinking, Coors Light.
Well, he was drinking Coors Light even on Justice. But yeah, it's weird. And I think it might have been Lars. I remember there was an interview a while ago. Somebody asked him like the direction you guys went after the Black Album. And I think it was Lars who said, it's kind of my idea to let's do something a little different, which in hindsight to me is kind of like, oh God,
I mean, after the Black Album or after Justice?
After the Black Album. Well, the Justice thing, or the Justice to Black was another cognitive thing. Like they kind of knew that they wanted to stay Metallica in heaviness, but they wanted to have more simpler, more straightforward stuff instead of going on these 8-9 minute tangents.
Right. Yeah, and they're looking at the audience and they're seeing guys with their arms crossed and like yawning, and there's no women in the crowd. And they talk about in this documentary how there's women in the crowd, and they couldn't believe, that they think they made it because now females are coming to their shows.
Yeah, I think James said something too about we kept putting up our set lists, and like the set list kept getting shorter and shorter because the songs were getting longer and longer. And it's like I kind of know what he's saying. I mean, when you're playing live, certain songs don't translate well live. Like you can have the greatest song on an album, and when you play it live, something happens sometimes, and maybe that's a part of it. You're playing a 7-8 minute song. Yeah, it's great to listen to in your car at home, but when a band's up there playing it, the crowd might fall asleep.
There's something to be said about that too. When you write something and it's really technical, and when you're playing it, you can't rock out. So if you're watching it, you're like, man, that guitarist is kind of boring. Well, he's boring because he can't bang his head because he's just going crazy with sweeps or really
he's trying to do it right.
Right. Like if you actually Mastodon is like that. A lot of times you see the guitarists when they get to certain parts, they're not moving. They're really focused on what they're playing. Yep. So something like, oh, they're kind of boring live. No, they're not. They're awesome. And it's just cool to watch what they're doing. And then there's parts that they headbang and things like that. But yeah, it totally makes sense. And with Lars, there was I think there was a Metal Evolution. It talks about all different metal genres. It was by Sam Dunn, and he interviewed Metallica, and he was talking to Lars, and he's like, why'd you make the Black Album? Like, why'd you do it? And he's like, we didn't want to make Justice 2, Part 2. So that's why we kind of really changed, because we want to do something completely different than that. Because they were basically leading up the Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master, Justice was the peak of what they were trying to accomplish. They're like, we did it. Now it's time to change. So,
yeah. And they were producing majority of it, right, Jay?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it says, produced by Fleming Rasmussen and Hetfield and Ulrich.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, James and Lars were running the ship, and even, Bob Rock, who everybody kind of blames for the Black Album, go back and listen to those goddamn demos for the Black Album. Bob Rock saved that album.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Bob Rock, the Black Album might have been total crap, but Bob Rock said it in interviews. He said, I realized early on I wasn't going to get anywhere with arrangements. So I concentrated on tempos, which, again, listen to the demo for Sad But True, right? This demo is a lot faster. And when Bob Rock said, let's pull that tempo back.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just grooved and instead of it doesn't do anything. It almost sounds giddy and corny. But they pulled that thing back, and that riff, what do they tune down to? Is it like D standard? The whole guitar's tuned down a whole step or whatever.
Yeah.
It's heavy as hell, man.
Yeah. And he struggled. He said he struggled for the first couple months trying to break those walls down and get these guys to buy into his philosophy and what he was trying to do. And he finally, it was like oil and water, especially if you watch that documentary. They were like making fun of him, and he was just giving him a hard time. And he always had his thumb on him. And I don't think they were used to someone telling them what to do. But when they were hearing the results, they were picking it up,
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to ask both of you guys, since you're guitarists, what transpired with Kirk, where most songs on that album, every solo he does has wah influence somewhere. Why? Like what happened there? Like what? Because the stuff that he did off Master, I think that's where he peaked. Master, Justice, right?
No, not even. I would say Master is where.
Right. The solos, the stuff that he wrote was amazing, and it just. I wouldn't, Kirk Hammett's amazing. Like, I think we all agree, Kirk Hammett, it's Kirk Hammett, right? But it looked boring. Like the stuff that he did on the Black Album just wasn't.
My opinion, and I'll let you go, Jay, because you probably have a better input on it. But I think Bob was looking for something way different than what they had done in the past. And he was probably having a hard time getting Kirk to think outside the box. So adding a wah pedal just kind of adds a variation to the signal that makes it stand out from the rhythm guitar and the lead. So I think it was just his way of, getting layers out of the song versus getting Kirk to play something that, flowed with the song. I
think he used Bob Rock's Vox wah pedal for that album.
He did?
I think so, yeah. He used the wah in the past, Justice is kind of where he really, I know there are some parts in Master and, all that stuff with the wah, but he really did use it way more on the Black Album than ever. And if anybody has a wah pedal out there, it definitely hides, some flaws, especially when you're doing like really fast stuff. Play something really fast and just like a Slayer solo, right? Just do anything on the fretboard real quick without a wah, and then play it with the wah. The same thing. You'd be like, actually sounds pretty good with the wah, because it adds something where it kind of hides the little imperfections or whatever. But I don't know. Some of the wah stuff is a little annoying to me. So obviously, when you use it in the right spots, it's great. It adds that extra element.
It was the era too. If you think about the '90s, a lot of guitarists were using the wah. It was like, remember how Jimi Hendrix all of a sudden became cool again in the '90s?
Yeah.
I think it might have been an era thing, because here we go again, Kevin Bacon. Eddie Van Halen used the wah in like 2 or 3 songs in '91 for Unlawful, and I don't think he ever went back to it, maybe 1 or 2 times, and that's it after that. So Cabo Wabo and maybe one.
Yeah, Cabo Wabo was the first wah, right?
Yeah. but he used it on 2 or 3 different songs for Unlawful. So I don't know, and it was just part of the era, I think, Brian. I don't know.
Maybe.
And maybe I know that when I saw Metallica in '93, whenever Kurt hit that wah pedal, it was like, oh my god, it was so piercing.
Yeah,
like, man, it was horrible.
What do you guys think is the best solo on that album?
The Black Album?
Yeah.
I'll give you 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to think about it for a minute, Kurt, or do you want to go?
I have mine.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, you go.
Unforgiven. That solo is amazing. I think that's the most feel out of all the solos on that album. I just like, I don't know. It's like emotional.
Yeah.
It's really good. So that's mine.
And even the little lead-in clean solo that leads into, I always thought that was James. I always thought that was James that played that. That's Kurt. Mm-hmm. Kurt. Now you're here. I'm calling him Kurt.
I did the same thing.
Dude, that little lead-in solo is brilliant. And I thought James played that. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, my mind is blown. So obviously that solo, and there's a 5-minute clip, and it's on the Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica, when Bob Rock is just hammering Kirk over that solo.
Yep.
He's like,
one of my favorite sayings was when a guy says, I'm not, or it doesn't sound good, or it just doesn't sound right. That means he didn't do his homework. For the solo.
The sound isn't working for me, man. Yep. And then my favorite is when Lars and Bob Rock are going back and forth, and he's like, no. And he's like, he's got to put some time into this. And Lars is like, that's not his style. He's not going to put it. And Bob's like, oh, so let's just slap on anything then, you know?
Yeah.
And then he's like, go ahead, Kirk, do whatever you want. And Kirk's like, I have been.
Right. And Brian, if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it, because there's an alternative version of the solo for that song.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't fit. And Lars is in the background, like squinching his ears. And
It's so bad. But the solo that's on there is great.
And he did it on a Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the final one was on a Les Paul?
Yeah.
Wow. Because he has the ESP on the video, but you knew that wasn't
it doesn't match. If you listen to it, that video, it doesn't match the one on the album.
Yeah, there are some different parts. Nothing Else Matters. That solo is, I mean, James is more melodic in his lead playing than Kirk is. But so we got.
Yeah, Nothing Else Matters was mine, and then also Holier Than Thou is another great solo too.
Well, my barn burner solo is The Struggle Within.
Oh yeah.
That solo is something that he would have written on Master of Puppets. That's kind of how I gauged it. He was on fire on that solo, man.
Yeah. And you hear that he put a lot of stuff, Kirk put a lot of stuff on tape, and I think he archived a lot of stuff. So he was probably pulling stuff out that he had written years ago. You know? So that for sure could have happened. So what, Jay, before we get into the tracks, I know we probably don't have time to hit every one, but what's your thought on Bob Rock as a producer, engineer?
Well, I kind of touched on it before. I mean, I think he made that record what it ended up being. It's because of him. I mean, obviously the songs were there. It's just a matter of getting somebody in there to really push. And that's one thing that a lot of you don't really see anymore in music, is a producer that gets in there and tells these guys, no, that's not good enough. Like, that's not going to work. Like, no, you can think that that's working, but it's not, and kind of tell somebody who's a millionaire that what they just recorded is shit,
Right.
And now those guys, and I get it. They're on top of the world, and, making music isn't number one in their lives anymore. So you don't want to go into a studio and have somebody yelling down your neck that, dude, that sucks. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
But I think that's the last album where they were pushed into uncomfortable points and really had to, and it shows,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it would have been as good. You know, maybe if his name was Bob Metal instead of Bob Rock. I heard that joke before. I had to.
That's good.
But no, man, he's one of the greatest, you know, hard rock producers.
Dude, I pulled up his like list.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
It's cold.
You know, just his engineer list alone is ridiculous. And then as he graduated to a producer, like that list, Brian, I'll just run off a few like ones we all know: Colt, Motley Crue, David Lee Roth, Bon Jovi, Skid Row, Bryan Adams, Tonic, Offspring, 311, Bush. As an engineer, when he was learning before he became a producer, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Crocus, Loverboy. I mean, Bruce Fairbairn, who, you know, we all should know too. He worked under him.
Yep.
He worked under Bruce Fairbairn.
What 311 album did he produce?
I'd have to look that up. I think there's 2. Give me a second.
I wonder how much he charges to produce a record, man. It's got to be like $1 million, you know?
I don't know.
Imagine.
The one thing I really get a kick out of is talking to a producer or listening to a producer talk about an album and how they're pushing someone and the fights with the bands and they're like disagreeing, or even when Jay and I had Josh Wilbur on and hearing some of the stuff that he had to say, like, I love it just to hear.
We heard a lot of stuff after we went off the air.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And he's
Yeah.
like, dude, this isn't being recorded, right? He's like, my career will be over.
It was great. We talked for like 3 hours.
That's
and
the good stuff.
Yeah. That's the good
some of the stuff we heard was just, it was just cool just to hear and to hear that dynamic and what transpired to make that song so awesome. And like one story I always loved was Corey Taylor, how he hated working with holy crap, the guy who did the subliminal verses.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, jeez, can't remember his name. Rubin, and Rick Rubin shit all over the chorus to Before I Forget. He's like, that sucks. It's not good. It's not good. And Corey's like, I love it. It's going to stay. Go fuck yourself. And then it won a Grammy. And Corey Taylor's like, we won a Grammy. How's that chorus for you now? So like
awesome.
that kind of stuff I love. So.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you never know. I mean, back to Metallica, Kurt, you know, the thing I love about Bob Rock is when somebody else is responsible for something great that happens, he's the first to give that person credit. Like he said that he thought that Holier Than Thou was the single.
Yep.
And he said Lars was like, no, it's Sandman. Sandman's the single. And he's like, I didn't hear it. And he's like, Lars heard it. He knew it. And the second that song came out, it was it. They literally exploded.
Changed their whole
That
tour. Half the people in their audience were there because they watched the Enter Sandman video and heard it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he's right. Like Lars is 100% right. The reason why that song is so annoying is because we've heard it a million times. But when you step back and that song comes on and you just listen to it, there's a reason why that song is so big and so popular.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's a great song.
311, Uplifter, and Universal Pulse were the 2 ones he did.
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
two ones he did.
Sonically, are those decent?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I didn't know that he worked on those at all. I had no idea. Which, wow, pretty amazing.
No,
But
the
I
list
guess, you know,
is
one of the
long
main-
and distinguished. Like I didn't even 3/4 of them I didn't even write down of people he worked with. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You said he worked with the Offspring.
Yeah,
Why?
they probably hired him.
Oh yeah. And the
No
thing
comment.
about, you know, and I think producers talk about this stuff too, is you can be great with music and stuff like that and arranging and doing all this stuff, but you have to have a certain personality to be able to sit with 4 or 5 or however many different personalities and hear them talk crap about each other while they're alone with you in a room and deal with that and not get caught up in all the drama and almost be like a psychologist or psychiatrist in ways where, you know, like it's just I've only had a small, it's a hair flying around. I've only had a small sample size of doing that type of stuff, but it is true. And I could just imagine with dealing with like huge egos
And
of these
3 of
rock
those guys
stars.
got a divorce while doing that album. So
Yeah.
they're going through personal things. And then, you know, Lars is wanting to come in late. And when he gets there, it takes him like an hour and a half before he even starts to sit down at the drums.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm sure James is probably wondering what contribution Kirk and Jason are bringing to the table. And then, you know, the controversy between Bob and the band. I thought of another funny thing I read too, which you see on the movie, if you watch the movie, is they went and ordered or they had someone go buy a bunch of pornographic magazines. And they brought in like 50 of them. And all the guys had like their choice women pasted up around their workstation. And one of the things, Jay, you might not be able to see in the movie, but all the guys put like men around Bob Rock's workstation.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and there's like, imagine working when you turn to your right and there's like a 12-inch like dong hanging there right in front of your face. And like he put up with it, you know? Like they pasted that stuff, you know, all over his workstation, and they had like hot women all over theirs.
So you got to have thick skin to be in that line of work. You know, because it's you know, there are times where the band is feuding with each other, and you're the one that's kind of like the glue holding it all together. And then there's the times where the band is getting along, and then you're the one that's getting peppered and getting hammered with insults and stupid stuff, and you got to be able to deal with it.
So Jay, when you're producing, do you have pictures of penises all around your workstation as well?
Oh yeah, and it's usually the band's penises. Before we start, I get the old Polaroid out, and I say, all right, guys, you know.
Makes it even more awkward.
Yeah. And I don't get a lot of work done because I usually put them over the screen, so I can't even see what I'm working on.
You got to lift them up.
Penises. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
Yeah. But it was quite the time for sure. Some other cool things like the Gulf War was going on when they were recording that album, which was a pretty pivotal time in that era, you know. I think the whole world was wondering what was happening, what was going on. But I think that had a lot of influence on the album too, you know, along with those guys' home life going to shit.
Yeah, and imagine, you know, kind of being locked up or cooped up in a studio.
No windows.
No windows. You're not home. You know, you can't, it's not like these guys are going home after they, you know, work every day.
Yeah, they're in LA and they all live in like the Bay Area, so
yeah,
it's a couple hours away.
And it's not like they have the internet to keep, you know, social media to keep in contact with people and you know, do all this stuff to kind of have that connection to home life.
Right.
Those guys were locked up in a studio. Like you said, no windows or anything. Not really. The only way they're finding out information is from the news that's on the TV in the lounge area.
Small ass TV like that.
Yeah. So your country's at war and you don't really know what's happening. You know, it's got to be a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. OJ's running around killing people.
It's funny. Speaking of that, the night that I saw Metallica, it would have been it was the summer of '94. I remember. Yeah, I remember my mom picked me and my friend Anthony up from that concert from the Orange County Speedway, and she was filling us in on the when he was in the White Bronco. So that night, the White Bronco story, that's the night that I saw Metallica.
Oh, no way.
Yep. I remember getting in the car and my mom was filling us in on what was going on.
Oh, so never mind. I was gonna say I thought it was in school for that, but no, that was the trial.
Yeah, the
trial was
decision.
In school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. Crazy time. So when did you finally buy the album, Jay?
Probably a couple months after it came out. Like I said at first, I didn't have any money to get it.
Right.
But
and Brian, how about you?
I never bought it.
I bought the Black album when I started playing the guitar, because that's when I learned how to play.
Oh, so you still haven't bought it? Ah!
Brutal.
Yes. Yes.
Sad but true.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was like 90, 96, 97.
Wow.
No, because my guitar was tuned to E standard, so I had to learn. I didn't know you can change tunings. Like I remember trying to play Korn, and I'm like, it doesn't sound nearly as heavy.
Yeah, I need to get a pedal to change that, right?
I didn't have that then. And then I remember reading a magazine, and they're like, "Oh, you turn it down." I'm like, "What does that mean?" I thought there was only one tuning. So
Yeah. So what's your thought on the album, Ryan? I know Jay and I have been talking the whole time.
oh, the Black album?
Yeah.
No.
Reload.
Yeah.
No. It's an amazing album. It's sonically it's fantastic.
Yeah.
For each song is great individually. So when I first started getting into it, I listened to Justice first. So when I compared the Black album to Justice, I didn't think it was close. Like I thought Justice was a much better album, and I think that today as well. I think it was important for the time. I think it's Metallica flies the flag of metal for all of us, right? They push it, our genre, into the mainstream. So
yeah.
I'm proud of it. But in regards to when I really first started listening to it, like obviously I heard Enter Sandman, all the main singles. There's like 4 or 5 off that album. I knew them all, but to really listen to the whole album, it was like 96, 97. And I like it. It's just, to me, again, like I said, it's a hard rock album. It's not Master of Puppets. It's not Justice. It's a hard rock album. It's not
a thrash metal album. It's still a metal album, dude. That album is heavy.
They won a Grammy medal, or the metal Grammy.
Oh yeah, because that means a lot.
It means absolutely nothing. But it's it's great. It really is. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. A buddy of mine has I think it's Easy Drums.
Yeah, Easy Drummer, and I have Superior Drummer 3.
And he has the Bob Rock pack.
Yep.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, I have it. I bought it.
Yeah, it sounds just like Sad But True. Like to me,
it's called LA91. It's called LA91 is the preset.
Is that what it is? One. Yeah. He played it for me, and I was just like, "Holy smokes!" It's pretty cool. But
yeah, it sounds awesome.
The other thing too, Jay, is since we're all guitar players, they used a ton of guitars on that album.
Yeah.
Stuff that they normally probably wouldn't ever have picked up or brought with them to the studio, that I think Bob had a big influence on. You know, the sitar, the Rickenbacker, the baritone.
Yep, 12-string guitar, all that
12-string, yeah.
Was it 12-string bass too?
Yeah, 12-string bass.
For that crack in
Wherever I May Roam.
Wherever I May Roam, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jason was just ecstatic with the opportunity to kind of expand his bass tone on that album.
And to be heard. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't jockstrap the rhythm guitars, that's a term that we use when a bass player is just literally playing the exact same thing that the rhythm guitars are doing.
So you got 2 straps that come up both sides?
Yeah. Yep, one for each guitar. All right, guys, I'll just play the exact same thing you're playing.
And it just gets hidden.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to make it sound more in your face, but it doesn't add an extra layer of music.
Yeah.
Right. What'd you think, Kurt, when you went from the Black album to Load and Reload?
I actually didn't mind Load and Reload. They're okay. I thought each one had 3 or 4 decent songs on it. They weren't barn burners like this one. they lost their like creativity, and kind of went into a different direction. They didn't even really follow like the newer metal direction at that time either. They kind of just they kind of went flat, I would say.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, if I like Load a lot. Reload
Yeah.
has like a couple songs on it that I like. Unforgiven 2 is a great song.
Mhm.
But I think that Load, if it wasn't Metallica, if that was some other band that came out with that album, I mean, the songwriting is great, the songs are great, but again, it's Metallica was done, in my opinion. Like the Black Album is the end of Metallica. In the grand scheme of things, think about it, right? Kill 'Em All came out in 83.
Yep.
The Black Album came out in 91. I'm not a mathematician, boys. How many years is that?
That's 8.
Metallica was great for 8.
there you go.
That's it.
Yeah, James could have done some solo work, because I think his work in Load and Reload was, his vocals were good. And his rhythm stuff was good. There was probably just that creativity between all 4 members that it just didn't gel, But
Right.
I have a hard time hating on James, because I think he's very talented.
Yeah,
and he's
best right hand in metal.
And his voice too. His voice and his rhythm is dynamic.
Well, I think his voice, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Brian, but his voice, and I might have said this before on here, I don't know, but James's voice is the reason why, not the reason, but one of the main reasons why Metallica is or was as great as they are. There's that story that came out that John Bush tried out for Metallica when James didn't want to sing, before he ended up singing. And everyone's like, even John Bush admits this. He's like, everyone's like, oh, John, you could have been in Metallica. He's like, yeah, but it wouldn't have been the same. Like, the reason why Metallica was Metallica is because of James' voice.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about his voice that just made it just like, it was almost like what velvet sandpaper is I kind of refer it to, where it's like it has that hard rasp.
Yeah, I picture him as a pissed off logger.
But there was something still smooth about it, like it still had that something, just sweetness about it. Leo Safko says best right hand in metal. I thought that was Ellison, dude. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But dude, 1988 to 89, James's riffing hand, his picking hand was second to none. Second to none. Tight as shit.
And you do it pretty well too, Jay.
I got to get back into shape, man. I played the intro to Blacken before we went live, and I was like, oh my God, it wasn't very good. But
so Load, Reload, and then went to Saint Anger.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Saint Anger, Kurt?
I don't like it. I enjoyed.
What did you like about it? Obviously, the snare.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just never caught me. Like, really, I didn't even really grab onto it. I listened to it maybe 3 times.
Because it's garbage.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times, and I've said this to you, Brian, before in that group thread with the other guys, but like when I listen to that album, there's so many times where I think to myself or say out loud, whose idea was that?
Yeah.
Like who thought that was a good idea? I mean, it's not like this is like one person's creation. You have other guys in there to be like, and this has happened. If anybody in a band situation where you're presenting music to somebody, there's always going to be those riffs or parts that you think might be cool, and then somebody else like, dude, that's not good. And you're like, yeah, maybe it's not, But for some reason, that album got released how it is, and you're like, what?
Not only does it sound bad, but if you look at it, or like what came out, they came out in 01, right? 2001. Saint
Anger?
Yeah. 02?
03.
03?
Yeah.
But also, if you look at it at that time too, I think they changed because what was going on. What was probably the biggest metal band at that time, or hard rock, was Korn, right? Korn didn't have solos, so they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go riffs and things like that. Like they changed to be what was popular at that time, which is disturbing.
Well, they tried to be the trendsetters again. Like, okay, there's something else going on. We're gonna make something. And there's that argument on the Some Kind of Monster documentary where it's literally Lars and Kirk. And Lars is like, they're talking about the whole no solo idea. And he's like, so the whole thing about the solo and, it kind of puts, to this time. And Kirk's like, that's bullshit. He goes, if you don't put solos on this record, that puts it during this time period. Mm-hmm. And for once, I don't want to say for once, but Kirk was right, man. When you think back, it's like it puts it to that time period. The no solo thing, and that was cool back then.
Right. Also, like Slayer had a new metal album. Like people were changing to try to be cool.
Well, dude, it wasn't. There was that maybe decade where it wasn't cool to be heavy metal.
It wasn't cool to solo at all. Yeah.
That's the way it goes. It's like this. I kind of like it all, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like, but I don't lean towards one more than the other. I still like the butt rock just as much as I like the 90s and the new metal. I like it all.
What about Death Magnetic and Hardwired? You listen to those?
No, I haven't got into.
Check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, Death Magnetic has a lot of moments that I think if the production was better. It's just a very abrasive mix. It's crushed. It's brick walled.
Who produced that? Fiddleman?
Well, no, Fiddleman. No, that was Rick Ross. Jesus,
Rick Rubin. He did that, and then Fiddleman did Hardwired.
Yeah, and Hardwired. That's even harder for me to listen to, because that's almost like there's a lot of Load influence on Hardwired. Even though there are some moments you're like, good stuff, but there's something about that mix. And I'm not a big I don't know if I should say this on here, but I'm not a big Greg Fiddleman fan, because when you watch the making of Hardwired to Self-Destruct, the album, every song they do like a 10 to 15 minute making of that song. Mm-hmm. And I remember there's one time where like they're laying down a guitar part, and I think James says something because they're in the control room and he's laying down the part, and James is like, did we do a harmony to this? And Fiddleman's like, I don't know, did we? Should we do it? And I'm thinking to myself, it's a no-brainer. There's so many parts, and that's what pisses me off. And I'm not saying I'm this, I'm not touting or tooting my own horn. I honestly think that if I was producing Metallica, number one, I'd probably be fired in 5 minutes for not agreeing with everything they said. But there are so many parts that I think back and I'm like, okay, what would you have done in 1988 or 86 or 84?
Right.
That would instantly make this, because that's what Metallica fans want to hear. And that's why they're writing the music that they've been writing for the past 10 years, or I guess what Death Magnetic was 2008 or 7, whatever it was, 2008.
I think 8, yeah.
They kind of wanted to bring it back, but I don't think they know how to get that. Yeah. Obviously a lot of the riffs they've been trying to do that, but there's so many parts where I'm like, oh my God, like if they just did this there, or this harmony, or Kirk doing a little lead here going into the second verse. Like what's the first single from whatchamacallit? From the newest album?
It was the first single, wasn't it? It was Hardwired.
Was it?
Yeah, Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
Yeah, so maybe it is that one. There's a part where they do like the riff going into the second verse. Right there was a perfect spot for like 86 Kirk Hammett to do a little quick lead going into that second verse. Little things like that where I'm like, what a missed opportunity. And I don't think Fiddleman's the guy that loves that era of Metallica where he can bring that back into it.
Yeah, there's definitely some
pisses me off. It really does, because I know what. Again, I can
isolate.
Yeah, isolate. God, no.
Well, Jay, at least Fiddleman's not producing the next Slipknot album, so you'll be happy with that.
Good. Well, I mean, hey, maybe he's better at producing other bands, but I feel like I know what Metallica needs to do to make them sound like Metallica again. And obviously it's harder with, Hetfield's voice isn't there and he isn't what it was and all that stuff. But again,
I still think he sounds great.
Huh?
I still think he sounds great.
Yeah, especially on the albums, because they, I know on Death Magnetic, Rick Rubin, which was a great idea, he said, you guys need to be in E again. Now, obviously, you're going to have a couple songs where you tune down,
right?
But Metallica needs to be, for the most part, in standard tuning. And he got him there, but, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off because they are, one of my all-time favorite bands. And part of the reason why I can play rhythm guitar the way I do is because of old Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
Brian, what's your thought on some of the rock? I don't even know if you call it metal, but the 2000s stuff
of Metallica's?
No, just like
what music did I listen to?
Saliva, Seether, Shine Down, those guys. No, you went right past it. Yeah.
Yeah. No. In the early 2000s, mid 2000s, it was like getting into Lamb of God, Trivium, bands like that. Like they're, I guess closer to a Seether or Shinedown, like Taproot.
Yeah.
I love those guys. But it was more of Lamb of God, Trivium, Gizmochi, bands like that. The new wave of metal, Slipknot, obviously.
Right.
In Flames. I used to listen to God Forbid a lot.
Okay. And how did you two meet?
Match.com.
I knew it.
Jay's brother-in-law.
Okay.
I played baseball with Jimmy when I first moved to New York, and he was one of my oldest friends. And when we played baseball, we were on all-star teams together, and we were pretty close. So I think I was working out. I would work out with Jimmy, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm putting a softball team together," and we were in our mid-20s at that time. He's like, "Do you want to?" And I met Jay at Gizmochi shows, and
I don't remember.
Like I would go to see Jimmy, and I'm like, "Who's this large beaked man near me?" No, so I bet Jay.
Why am I drooling every time I get around your guitarist?
And then, Jimmy was just like, "Hey, I'm going to put a softball team together. We don't play baseball anymore. You want to play softball?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Right.
And then went to like our first practice and met Jay. We started talking, and
well, I think I had a Bears hat on. That's probably what gave you the huge raging
erection.
on.
Yes. And then I don't know, that was like 06, 07 and
07. Yep.
And Jay and I just became pretty tight after that. So
all right.
It was pretty quick.
It was a pretty quick courtship.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice.
Remember shagging fly balls in the outfield, standing next to each other. It's like, hey guys, we need we have 2 center fielders right now. What are you guys doing?
Mid center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
What time you guys go? How late do you guys go on this?
Now I don't know. We didn't really get to. Let's do this. Let's do best song on the Black Album and worst song on the Black Album. Let's do that.
How about
this is going to be hard for me.
Side A or side B too?
Oh God, it's been so long.
Wow.
What was the first song off of side B?
Nothing Else Matters, right?
Wow. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's hard.
If you fold the map in half, that's what it would be.
I know I know my least favorite song is Of Wolf and Man.
Yeah.
Even though it's a badass song, don't get me wrong. But I think maybe it's some of the lyrical content is maybe why it's kind of, I don't want to say corny, but I guess if I had to pick one,
I
that would be
figured
the
you would
one.
like that riff.
Oh, it's awesome.
B flat. Yeah. Here we
Oh,
go.
It's tuned down,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, my least favorite is "Nothing Else Matters" by Miley Cyrus. That was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Why would they do that?
You know why they did it? To get the younger fans into Metallica, the younger audience into Metallica.
Right.
It's a great idea.
Or "Enter Sandman" by Weezer. I'm good on that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my least favorite. I like the B side better. I think it's a little bit faster. I think they probably threw some of the radio friendly songs on the the A side. Favorite song would probably be, man, that's a tough. Wherever I May Roam, probably my favorite. Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah,
When
that video is just epic to me. It just brings me back to, being in 8th grade and, sniffing underwear.
So, question for you guys: when albums are put together, because obviously they're not tracked in the order that we know and love. So, like Enter Sandman, let's say it was the 5th song. Like, I would love to have been there to be like, all right, we're putting this song first, this song second. Like, do you know when sometimes you'll read interviews or hear about when songs are done? They're like, oh, this song was at the very end and we needed something else, and boom, it was our biggest song. What do you know how these were tracked or initial? You do?
First song was Enter Sandman, was the first one they
What
worked
was it?
on.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know as far as the listing goes.
Okay.
But back then in 91, throwing a tape in or putting the needle down on a vinyl was very impactful as far as the flow of a song goes. But also CDs were really getting big then too. So skipping tracks, I think strategically they would put songs in track order, maybe anticipating a skip, wanting to have a dynamic song, every other or whatever. I think that was a big deal too. But man, just buying a CD and throwing it in and listening to it and not skipping it because you want to hear the whole thing is such an experience that freaking kids don't get these days. And I mean, I'm only 44, I'm an old man, but I don't know. It's a big deal to me. Track order and listening to it, buying a CD. Jay and I have talked about skipping school and buying a CD and ripping it open and reading the liner notes. It's just it's an experience.
Oh yeah,
it's memorable, very memorable to me.
Yeah, I would go to what was that place in Middletown, Jay? It would open
Rock Fantasy?
No, it was like a big store.
Oh, Media Play.
Media Play. I would always go to Media Play at midnight, Mondays into Tuesdays, to pick up the new albums that were coming out.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
I love doing that, and to this day, I'll always listen to an album and I go from beginning to end because that's how it was presented to you. So take it in.
Yeah. Jay, do you have a Case Logic for your car? Or you flip and you put them in order?
Yeah, I would try to, and then I put the CD, the CD covers behind the CD or front of it, whatever.
Yeah, behind them. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What is that Ibanez you got? It's the see-through gem, the green screen gem, I guess, right?
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Those pickups look really good with that finish.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Lay the guitar to the side. How low is that middle pickup?
It's flat.
Decked.
Yeah. That's right in my
So you chugging zone.
Yeah.
I need to get the neural ESP because I was playing my 7-string today. My the one Ibanez I have that's tuned to A. My amp sounds like a crate. Sounds terrible.
Man, I loved my crate.
Do you?
I loved my crate.
Oh.
Back when I had it, it was a tube. It was a tube crate. Man, that thing was badass.
Yeah, mine's right there.
Yeah.
See the the last 3 songs on the Black Album are just absolute bangers, man.
Oh man.
You know, God That Failed is amazing.
Yep.
My Friend of Misery, which was I guess Newstead's only writing credit on the album.
The bass intro.
The intro.
Yeah.
Which that's my least favorite part of that song is the chorus, and it's because of the damn cowbell. Where Lars, I'm gonna put a cowbell on this album. Instead of hitting the cowbell with the hi-hats, because I know the cowbell is overdubbed or whatever. He should have rode the crash, man. You know? But that's
must have been looking for something on that song, because remember in the movie where James has got the rifle and he's that's in that song too. Yeah. It's like they're just looking to fill it in with trash. Yeah.
I mean, it adds, It adds to
it's cool.
There's a little, little extra stuff going on. So in that sense, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Wherever I May Roam, that is the first song I ever learned the entire way through everything. Like rhythm guitars, solo. That was the first solo that I learned.
Really?
Yep.
Mine was Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, the solo, huh? Yeah. I bet that took you minutes.
Days.
Still learning it.
What about you, Kurt? What was the first song you learned how to play all the way through?
Man, I don't think I've ever learned how to play a song all the way through, but the first riff I learned was the Nothing Else Matters. The ding, 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 that was the first thing I learned how to play.
Let's see if
I can still remember where I was sitting in my old house on the back porch. I didn't start playing guitar until I was 25, 26.
Oh, wow.
This has it?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Metallica, I don't think Metallica gets you flagged, right? They don't care if anybody plays their stuff.
Really?
No, not at all. Especially on Napster, they loved it.
Oh, man.
Right? This guitar below E buzzed a little bit now.
Flag. I haven't been minding the chat. Any crazy questions? Fret Level Midnight, what's going on? I saw, is Leo still in here? Randy Price is in here.
Yeah, Leo Safko, he had the best comment of the night. Fret Level Midnight, Wayno. Jesus Repes Me.
Yeah.
You have to be Dimebag to make a craze sound good. I am no Dimebag Daryl. Speaking of that, on a sad note, my cat Dimebag Daryl, he passed away after our last show. So only almost 6 years old. So rest in peace, Dime.
Because of the show, he thought it sucked. He's like, I gotta check out.
That's young for a cat, right? 6 years.
Super young. Yeah. I called Jay the next day. I was not doing well after I found him dead. I went into he has the laundry room was his room, has a bed in there, his food, everything. And I went in there to check on him. Just he didn't normally he'll start meowing or come out. Nothing. And I'm like, that's weird. And then I just caught out of the corner of my eye behind the washer and dryer. He was on the floor, and how he was laying, I'm like, he's dead. I've never seen him lay on his side like that. And I was shaking him, and he died.
You should be playing Nothing Else Matters while he's telling this story.
Well, I was trying to remember how to play taps, but I couldn't.
Sorry, Brian.
Forget
I
how
know,
That's
you-
terrible.
And
You got kids, right?
I'm sorry.
You got kids, right?
I have 3. So
Yes. You had to
the
do a
next day I
horrible-
had to like tell him, I'm like, guys, just Brody, you don't have to do the litter box anymore. Dimebag Daryl died.
So you try to turn a negative into a positive.
I did.
Hey, I got some good news and some bad news.
Yeah, sounds like
Give me
my
the good
dad.
news first. You don't have to scoop the litter box anymore. What's the bad news? Your cat's dead. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty sad. He was a cool cat. Cool cat. But yeah, just it was his time, I guess. So
Yeah.
terrible.
Long 6 years he lived.
He did. And, he was a hypoallergenic as close as you can, because I'm definitely allergic to cats and basically life. And he was a Devon Rex, and he was just like poorly bred cats. He had he always was sick, always had some issues, some skin issues, always had a problem. Actually, I'm gonna pull him up on the phone. I'm gonna show
My
a
best
picture
friend
now.
always says, "I'm allergic to your bullshit."
And so after he died, I felt super guilty. I was like, oh my God, what do we do?
Ugh.
So I called the vet, and the vet is like looking at his chart. He's like, Brian, he was sick. He always had some issues, and those type of animals are how they're bred. Like sometimes, like they're notorious for dying quickly. Like they have heart issues, and this is Dimebag.
Oh,
Okay.
And,
Now I see the hyperallergenic scenario.
yeah, so that was like a couple weeks before he died. So yeah, he's just like, sometimes they just die.
yeah.
And he's like, if there was a kidney issue, you can have gone septic quickly and within hours, and all of a sudden, like, you wouldn't have known. And I was like, oddly, I felt better after talking to him. I'm like, all right, I didn't kill him. So
Yeah, it's not like he was laying in one position for a few days, just looking at you like, "Hey, you see me over here?"
Yeah.
If that was the case, then yeah, you should feel like crap. But
Yeah.
All good things come to an end, just like
Yeah.
Metallica.
just
you
like
know?
the show.
So yeah, rest in peace, Dimebag Daryl.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Both died.
Before right out of high school, I detailed cars at a car dealership, and this lady had a Audi, and she had her deceased cat stuffed in the back window of her car.
She had what?
Her deceased cat stuffed, sitting in the back, behind the back seat where the trunk lid part, sitting back there. And she drove around everywhere with the cat. And every time I had to wash that car, it just gave me the
Staring at you.
yeah.
Taxidermy. Yeah.
You missed the spot.
Yeah, Tinkerbell. Schnookums is back there. Keep the air conditioning on. Okay, lady.
Schnookums. Oh, that's terrible.
Well, think of that, right? Like if I'm sure that happened a lot. Like if she went to a store or something in the middle of the summer, and yeah, there's a cat standing in the back, people are probably like calling the cops.
I know.
This cat
Breaking
is
the
just-
window. That's taken a little too far.
Definitely.
I'm texting Johnny. Do you want to pop in and say goodnight on here, or do you want us to just do it?
What's your guys' plan for tomorrow? You guys hanging out at home? Are you traveling anywhere?
I'm gonna do absolutely nothing, and I'm so excited. I know I'm a little burnt out, so I'm gonna do absolutely nothing tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna watch the shitty Bears game, like I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to move. I can just sit on the couch and be repulsed. So
This
Like
is
how
the
many
best
times-
holiday.
Oh,
Best
God,
holiday
it
ever.
sucks so bad. Oh God.
what about you guys? What are you doing?
Like I said, this is my favorite holiday. Thanksgiving's my favorite. No gifts. You can eat, you can drink, you can watch football. I'm going to my dad's, which is always cool because he's like me. So we'll just kick back and small event. So it'll be nice. He lives in the same town I do, so we don't have to travel. It'll be good.
Good, man.
How about you, Jay?
Gonna go to my parents and watch the shitty Bears, and then come back here and my parents are going to come over, and we're going to have a mini Thanksgiving because my mother-in-law is sick,
Oh,
and so we're probably going to do regular Thanksgiving Sunday with everybody. But tomorrow's just going to be watching the Shitty Bears, and then my parents hanging out for a bit, drinking some drinks, you know, having a few, sucking back. No, not the Remy LaCroix. I'm talking real drinks, Johnny.
shucking back
wouldn't
on Grandpa's cough medicine.
I wouldn't mind sipping on a little bit of Remy LaCroix, but you know. Do you guys not know who that is?
She sounds delicious.
If you have the internet, free up some time.
All right.
Do I need to free up some time with or without pants?
Yeah, without. Yeah.
Free up some time, then free up some weight. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, man. Hey, I just had dinner,
Nice.
so just hanging out. And yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear about your cat. I'm now just a huge cat fan. I don't know if that's a term.
Johnny's favorite publication is Cat Fancy.
It is. It is. I was a dog person for 17 years because of Howie, but now because of Ned Halen, you know, I love cats.
Ned Steinberger.
They're just
Yeah.
Nettie Van Halen.
No, I hear you.
What was that? Oh man. Good thing your internet sucks, Kurt.
can't even see it.
I know.
Still can't read it.
Well, Johnny, I'm a huge dog guy. My dog Bear, I had when I was 5 after the Bears won the Super Bowl, and he died when I was 21. So he was 16. That was my man.
Ooh.
And my 2 dogs now. I have Ollie, named after Ollie Herbert, that passed away, my guitar teacher, and Salem, because we go to Salem, Massachusetts every year for Halloween. So they're awesome.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
I have 3 dogs.
3-dog night.
3 dogs, 1 for each kid. Two golden retrievers and then a double doodle.
Oh,
Double
nice.
doodle. What's that? Like 2
So
heads?
Golden retriever
Takes 2
poodle,
dumps
and a
every time
golden-
you walk it. 2 double
and a
doodle.
golden retriever. So it's a double doodle. So it's retriever and lab.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Oh my
2 dogs
gosh.
and what is that? I have 2 dogs and a cat, and the
Like
cat
somebody
has-
went to that website.
Yeah. Right?
Show your hand.
What do you guys thought? We have a one-eyed cat, one-eyed Willie, and you know.
One-Eye Willie costs you some money, right?
Oh God, I hate cats because of them. I don't want. I hate saying it, but I can't wait. I love him. I love him, but I can't wait. Can't wait. John, you
you're
want me to
ruthless.
ship you a cat? You can have another one.
Oh,
He's an indoor cat, though. He's an indoor cat. He needs if you let him outside, he'll probably get killed pretty quickly.
He has no cariff.
He's got one eye and he's got no fingertips.
oh,
No
Yep.
fingertips.
Well, that's what they do when they declaw a cat. They don't pull the claws out. They cut at the first knuckle.
oh my gosh.
Yep.
No, you can't. No declawed cats out here. No way.
No, they'll be dead
No
in
way.
5 minutes, man.
Really.
It'd
See
be
them back
like
John
sending a
Stark.
boxer in a boxing ring with their hands tied behind their back. That's basically what it would be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know?
Wow.
it's true.
Well, I learned something new today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
No problem,
So,
man.
Thanks
It's
for
good to
asking.
chat with you guys.
Yeah, it was-
What's
For
that?
asking. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for getting fired.
Hey. Dude, I was talking to somebody a couple days ago. I'm like, man, I was like, I have to remember that we're live and this is on the internet. Like when I joke
really?
about something,
After how many years?
dude, it's true. You know how it is. Like when you know, everybody that's on these things, like I get along with everybody really well, and your guard kind of goes down as far as like what to say and what not to say. And you know, when everybody's cool, you kind of let things, you kind of joke around and you say things that, you know, you might be, you know, just joking about.
Mhm.
And that was one of them. I said that and I was like, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, and have a great Thanksgiving. And Jay and I will be back next month.
What's the date?
December something?
John Bill.
29th.
Yes, December 29th.
Wow.
Is it the last week?
Last Wednesday
Last Wednesday
of December. So yeah, we'll have our year in review. We have some awards. It's gonna be good. It'll be a lot of fun.
And everybody, please check out that some of the songs we talked about tonight if you haven't heard them, especially that Textures track, Timeless, off of their Phenotype record, their last one that came out. Was that 16 or 17? I think it came out.
17.
Yeah.
So that's your song, Kurt. Do you have a song for everyone to check out? Anything but Van Halen?
No.
Because we can talk about it every other night, so we got to do something different.
You caught me with my pants down.
Oh, good.
Really cold. It's really cold out. No, I don't. I don't. I'll throw something in the chat. How about that?
Right, there you go. Johnny, what are you listening to lately?
The comments below.
Awesome. Music wise, I was listening to Andy Taylor, guitar player, known from Duran Duran, but he became like this rocker, like hard rock dude in the late 80s. I was listening to his debut. I think it's called Thunder, I think.
It's just Andy Taylor, that's what it's called?
Well, yeah, Andy Taylor of Thunder. I think. Is it Thunder?
I'm going to look it up right now cuz
check it out. I love Duran Duran.
Yep.
Yeah.
Duran.
Well, but it doesn't sound like Duran Duran though.
Him.
It's like hard. It's like, think of like late 80s hard rock
Okay.
type stuff.
I'm gonna check it out.
That's what it is.
That's
it.
Thunder.
That's it right there.
1987.
Don't Let Me Die Young. Is that on there?
Track 2, yep.
There you go. Yeah, I've got that pulled up in my iPod, so that's what I've been listening to.
This looks to be his only album, is it? Is that true?
Yeah. He has a new single out or something.
He has different ones. Yeah, he's actually in a band right now called Reef. He's playing with these guys. They're playing festivals in the UK.
Is he not with Duran Duran anymore? Because
No.
they're touring. They're touring right now.
Right.
Duran
He
Duran.
left. He left in 2005, 6.
Oh, after Astronaut?
Yeah, right after Astronaut.
Astronaut's a great record.
Yeah.
Great record. Yep.
That's cool.
Me and Johnny have like 3 bands that we like. We got The Police, which you're obviously a bigger fan of The Police than I am. Duran Duran and Van Halen.
You can have the Sting solo stuff. No, I like it. But yeah, that's my stuff. Yeah.
That's cool. Good man. John, you want to bring up the exec or the producers of
The channel members.
the channel members?
Let's see if how this works. Actually, I made, while you guys were on tonight, I actually made this because I kept saying I have to redo those cards because they're not really up to date. Uh-oh. They're not really.
My neck is absolutely. Can you hear me?
My neck and my back.
My neck is killing me.
Oh,
sleep
so you.
wrong?
like meningitis or something. I don't know.
I heard earlier you said that you hurt your neck.
I'll come over and rub it for you.
It could be vaginitis.
No, I hurt my back in the shower a couple days ago, and it's been killing me ever since. And I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was washing my hair and I was rinsing it off, and I was, the shower head is behind me, and for some reason, I guess I was just.
You ever tried the turnaround method? It works well.
Well, no. Here's the thing: when you have, so you guys don't know this, but when you have long hair, it's easier to do this and let the shampoo and conditioner run behind
like a hot
you
chick does,
instead of like all down. When you have short hair, it doesn't matter, right? So anyway,
I had the long hair for decades. Yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah.
So when I was washing my hair last week or whatever it was, I leaned back too much, and my back just, I have a shitty back. I had back surgery in 2011.
Yeah. And
something happened, man. And it's just like, oh, and I think it went right up into my neck as well. And now I'm shit out of life. I feel like I'm like 60 right now.
When I have to wash the top of my forehead, sector 7, when I put my head back, I get up here too.
Brian, wash your bangs.
Oh, that's too good.
Yeah,
man.
Bring up the new hotness.
Well, let's see what happens here. I mean, it's cheesy because I had to throw something together, and so here we go. Here's the new channel member. Actually, it's a GIF, so it just plays.
Oh,
technology! Wow, you can barely see them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, who's gonna read those? Who has the glasses?
Well,
that's
just for tonight because I had to re-update it. And
that looks good.
There's zero reading going on with that.
There we go. But yeah, those are the channel members right there. Thank you so much for all your support.
Nice. Well done, Johnny. I'm so proud of you. Look at this.
Thank you, man.
I love Murph and the Magic Tones right there. I love it. Murph and the Magic Tones? What are you? That's a great line in that movie. Quando. Remember that? The song you sing in Quando.
Oh man.
Yeah. Classic movie.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, that's just for tonight. Well, the thing is, the photo of the board, I couldn't move it out of the way anymore. So that's the only way I could fit all the names on the screen. So that's why they're that particular size. But I think tomorrow and over the weekend, I'll actually create another. Fix it.
I think it's still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's good because everyone's. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they're readable. I mean, probably not a mobile.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta think about that. But anyway, yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's what I was doing while you guys were talking tonight. That's what I.
While we were flapping our gums. Hey, Kurt, before we go, you, when I mentioned about the hottest free agent, you say you're not a free agent anymore. Is there some news here you got to talk about or no?
No, I was just messing with you.
Okay.
I'm still a free agent. Free agent, man.
That was so bad that it was funny.
I don't know if I'm looking for work either.
You're just looking to hang and bang?
Yeah, I kind of like plopping and flopping,
Hanging and banging and hanging and banging.
It's one of my favorite when Hulk Hogan used to do that. We were hanging and banging at the, and then when the one time he talked about we were down at the blah 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 and we hung and bung, we hung and bung.
What does that mean?
Well, you hang the weights, you hang the weights and then you bang them, type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it means, right? If you're a guy that lifts weights, is that what a hanging and banging?
I go to the gym. I don't hang and bang.
You do that alone in your bedroom.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Or in the shower.
Yep.
Nice. All right, guys. Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you soon.
Wait, Johnny, we have a Black Friday show, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Are
So,
there any
yeah.
Black Friday deals? I think there's Black Friday
Join us.
deals right now on some Gizmachi shirts, 20% off or something.
Nice.
I think.
Cool.
We need some Johnny Beane discounted shirts on Friday.
Sounds, yeah. Yeah. Tune in this Friday where we generally talk about Van Halen.
Oh, really?
Pretty much kind of the dedicated thing, but we'll talk about anything in the middle of the show. So
Brian was giving me crap, so
Yes.
So 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, Friday. Join us.
We're gonna be hanging and banging over here on Johnny Bean TV.
Yeah.
And tonight we hung and bung.
yep. Tons of bungs.
Thank you all, Dave, all night. He says, later, people. Killer show as always.
Thanks,
Well, you don't have to lie to us to make us feel better. I mean, you know. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Is that it?
I could go all night.
Man.
Okay. Just let me know. I'll hit the button.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.